Hey, Namaste, how you feeling today? Hey, happy holidays. Let's see if we can find this little, I got a little something for you before we get going. I said we are Namaste. 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 Namaste. Yeah. Oh. And I'm about ready to walk with the Spirit. Are you ready to walk with the Spirit with me? I thought so. All right, here we go. And woo. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Should we walk with the Spirit? Walking 2, 3. What's it? 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Well, I'm walking with the Spirit, and I'm talking to the Spirit, and I'm learning from the Spirit, and I'm growing in the Spirit, and I'm growing in the Spirit, and it's showing in the Spirit. Well, I'm walking with the the Spirit in front of me. When I find myself in one of those situations, it's leading to some kind of drama or confrontation, I go within, I get plugged into my friend before it's too late. Oh, 10 times out of 9 things will work out fine, but out my participation, yeah. Well, I'm walking with the Spirit, and I'm talking to the Spirit, and I'm learning from the Spirit, and I'm turning to the Spirit, and I'm growing in the Spirit, and it's showing in the Spirit. I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. When I find myself in one of those situations that I don't know what to do and I got no explanation, I go within, I get plugged in, oh, for a revelation. Well, 10 times out of 9 things will work out fine without my participation. Yeah, well, I'm walking with the Spirit, and I'm talking to the Spirit, and I'm learning from the Spirit, and I'm turning to the Spirit, and I'm growing in the Spirit, and it's showing in the Spirit. Well, walking with the Spirit in front of, walking with the Spirit in front of, walking with the Spirit in front of me. Walking with the Spirit in front of me. Thank you, Namaste. Welcome to our holiday service.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Namaste Center for Spiritual Living. This is our Jammin' holiday service. Thank you to our musicians. Oh, it is so beautiful to see you all here. We're just going to shift gears a tiny bit. Nikki, our beloved practitioner, in this beautiful season of light, it is often referred to, she's going to bring the candle and light that for us to symbolize the light that each of us is in the world and that our community is. Thank you, Nikki. So I would like you all to join me in saying who we are. And Terry's got that up on the screen for us. And this really speaks to who we are as a community and individuals. So please join me. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is love, truth, light, and peace. When you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we recognize that we are one. Namaste. So that is the spirit of who this community is. And right now, I would like to just do a brief announcement or two. Terry, could you put up the slide for the World Peace Meditation? This is something that is observed around the world, not only in our faith tradition, but in many faiths throughout our globe. So we have this taking place 4 a.m. on the Pacific Coast. It's all according to where we fall on the Greenwich Mean Time, so that all around the world, everybody is doing it at the same time. It is an hour-long meditation for the peace of our world, and we're going to be doing that on Zoom. So check out our website. There's going to be information, I know, in the newsletter as well, how to connect with us for this very significant time of shifting the world into knowing a greater peace. This coming Wednesday night, we normally have the circle. We are not going to be doing that this Wednesday. Please join us the third Wednesday in January for that. And also, the beginning of January, on the first Wednesday, you all know that Reverend Veronica delights us with digging deeper. We're also going to be dark for that particular first Wednesday in January. All of this can be found on our namastecsl.org website and as well as in the newsletter. So, at this time, I think that's complete for our announcements. I'm going to invite our practitioner emeritus, Chuck Spencer, up, and he will be leading us in our affirmation.
I would like to invite you all to follow repeat this affirmation. I am grateful for this life and all that I am. I am peace, I am calm, I am joy, I open the light of the world. I open to the path that is prepared before me and give this great gift that I am. I'd like to share a few thoughts with you today as we come together, as we come to the end of 2021 and move through the season of light. I've taken some time to reflect on some of the events that have affected many of us during this year. This year has brought much joy and celebration to many of us with the numerous blessings of Spirit. As a community, we have much to be thankful for. Being in our new home and supported by the Science of Mind teachings have enabled us to move through the year more easily. I firmly believe that Spirit is always with us, and its infinite love is always blessing and supporting us as we move through each day and every experience. Personally, I feel so blessed and thankful for being a part of our beloved Namaste community. I always feel supported and enriched by the love of everyone in our community. I'm also thankful for my family and my many friends and their loving support, as well as the many other blessings of Spirit, which are far too numerous to mention. I have also come to realize how vulnerable many of us have felt because of COVID and other challenges that we've experienced during the year as well. What comes to mind for me when I'm facing an unwelcomed experience is one of my favorite mantras. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. Just giving my attention to this mantra redirects my focus from the outer experience to the inner presence of infinite love. As we prepare to move into a new year, I'd like to share with you a few words to give some thought to. Our everyday ordinary life is a sacred journey, irrespective of where we are, who we are with, or what we are doing. So we can stop our waiting and look for God to show up when things are just right, because God is already there. These words are by Dennis Merritt Jones and The Art of Being. Namaste.
So let's just give, can you put this on, this mic on?
Are we good?
There we go.
Okay, all right. Once again, my name is Jeff Schlick, lead practitioner at Namaste Center for Spiritual Living, and I am live streaming from Sedona, Arizona. I am so grateful for everyone that has worked so hard to help me be a part of this. Thank you. The quote I've selected is, "Blessed are the pure at heart, for they will see God." I grew up Catholic, and this verse used to make me think that there was a list of things, right things, to do and to be better and strive for a destination or expectations in order to go to heaven, because that's where I will see God. My conversations with God have broadened since my youth, and God has shown me such a bigger picture. To start, I'm a very human individual and have stumbled in life to learn, directed by pain and experiences. Not all of them would be claimed as pure of heart. I also know that God is not a judge, but we live in a world of cause and effect. With my greater conversations with God, I have been shown so very much, humbled in the kindness of life, to see God in all of life. I talked with a 6-year-old boy, his name was Oliver, that came from El Paso to see me with his family to be baptized by Oak Creek here in Sedona. In our introductory meeting on Zoom with his parents, he asked in a wide-eyed 6-year-old curiosity, "Do you know God?" I answered, "Yes, I do." Behind his round glasses, his eyes got so big, and he asked how he could know God. I asked him if he always knew his friends in his hometown, and he said no. I said, "How did you get to know them, and do you have best friends now?" He said he had great friends, and they played together and talked to get to know each other. I replied that this was the same way that I got to know God, and I continued my conversations with God to this day. In my conversations with God, I learned that I was already home. As I told Oliver in his baptism, that this ritual was only to remind us who we already are, and that we are already pure of heart, for this is our birthright. I learned that through all of my humanness, that I am promised never to be alone. Wherever I am, God is. We are blessed. We are all pure at heart, without initiations, right doing, or proving a goodness to be provided entry into heaven or see God. My work is to know, through my conversations with God, to be my practice, is to express what I know of God to the best I can in my walk of life. I am humbled to know more of God, make the choice to demonstrate my consciousness. And all this comes without striving to be best or research or be a destination. Heaven is upon us now. I see God and know God in all of life. We are in the celebration of light, no matter what framework we practice or name as our faith. This light is truth. We are the pure in heart, always and forever. I am the light. And in this perspective and my knowingness of God, I am blessed, as each of us are. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Heaven is upon us now. We are the light to the degree I practice knowing it to be within myself and my outlook on life and all others. The light is a promise as a humble whisper. I will never leave you. We are loved. We are blessed. And if my eyes are open, I will see God. Let us go into prayer. I am the pure of heart, for it is that purity that I know is God. I call it truth. For it is that light that is within each and every one of us, always lit, always illuminated. For I call this light God. For what I know is this service today and each practitioner's, minister's, musicians' words and sounds remind us how blessed we already are, and that with eyes wide open that we see God in every breath, every step, and every activity. Knowing this short time together is blessed in that reminder of our infinitude. There's nothing else to do, and let this service unfold now, and just simply together say, and so it is.
Just as we get ready to play this next beautiful song about Christmas coming up, I just want to say it's a gift to have these wonderful musicians here with us today. This is my friend Simon on cello and bass, and Eve on the piano, and of course, y'all know Des just playing every different instrument available. This is a little Nat King Cole for you. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer know how to fly. How to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. Da, 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 da.
are so blessed, aren't we? Thank you so much. So, my quote for today's service is, "Teach me what I cannot see." What I know is, as I pondered this quote, it reminded me of my teachers at USM used to always tell me that how I respond to the issue is the issue. So teach me what I cannot see. If I can't see it, how do I even know to be taught? But if I anchor into that, if I am in upset or something has happened in my life, I use that as a signpost of something that I get to look deeper at. If I am, triggered by something, somebody has done something to me, right? I get to look at that because really what I know is how I am responding to that. There is an opportunity for me to maybe look at the story underneath it. Because if I am in upset or I'm in judgment or anger, whatever the emotion may be, I'm telling myself a story about what is going on. But typically that story is rooted in something far deeper than what brought me to experience whatever was going on in that moment. Everybody know what I'm talking about, right? The holidays are usually pretty good for me to get pretty ramped up. Just saying. I have learned that I tend to get a little anxious. Susan laughs. Yes, I saw a chuckle and a guffaw. But when I'm telling that story, I am not in my joy. I am not in that place of center, that place of knowing God right where I am. And in this teaching, we know that in every moment, God is present. Spirit is present. But as humans, we sometimes lose our way in that. So my opportunity is when I recognize that I am not in my joy and I am reacting or responding, and typically, it's pretty clear because it is not usually my most graceful way to show up. I have some tools, though, in my toolbox that I can use to help teach me in those moments what I can't see when I'm in my story. So the first thing, and I know this isn't going to come as a surprise, because I know if any of you have heard me up here, what does it start with for me? A pause. Just a pause. Just to stop the perpetuation of whatever may be going on for me. And then I usually take a breath, and then I get quiet. But when I'm really deep in my story, a lot of times that's not enough. So I ask myself some questions. First of all, I ask, is this the first time I've experienced this? Typically not. But it gives me that opportunity to get quiet and really go deep and say, okay, God, teach me what I cannot see here. Because truly, the wisdom is already within. The wisdom's already within. So I ask, when was the first time I remember feeling like this? And what was going on at the time? What was the story behind it? And then I get to create a new story. I get to just tell myself what the truth is. I am peace. I am love. I am joy. I am freedom. I am not locked into these old stories. So my invitation to you is, if you get an old story going this season, to pause and ask yourself, what is the truth of who you are? Happy holidays. Peace be with you.
Wide awake while the world is sound asleep, and too afraid of what might show up while you're dreaming. Nobody sees you. Nobody will believe you. Every day you try to pick up all the pieces, all the memories, somehow they never leave you. Nobody sees you. Nobody will believe you. God only knows what you've been through, and God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through, and God only knows what they say about you. And God only knows the real you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. Kind of love that, there's a kind of love. Sing it. There's a kind of love that, there's a kind of love. Keep a cover over every single secret. So afraid if someone saw that they would leave you. Somebody sees you. Somebody will never leave you. And God only knows what you've been through. And God only knows what they say about you. And God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. And God only knows what they say about you. And God only knows the real you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. There's a kind of love that, there's a kind of love. Kind of love that God only knows. Kind of love that God only knows. Kind of love that God only knows. There's a kind of love that, there's a kind of love. Sing it. There's a kind of love that, there's a kind of love. A little louder, come on. There's a kind of love that, there's a kind of love. One more time. There's a kind of love that, there's a kind of love. Thank you.
Good afternoon, namaste, and happy holidays. I'm Reverend Carol Lotz, one of the staff ministers here, and I just wanted to take a couple moments to just honor those of us who are walking the path of grief right now. That there isn't always moving through the first holiday without someone that we love. That it isn't always an easy path. But it's always a path of love, and what a privilege it is to love, because grief is the equivalent to how we've loved. And so one of the quotes that I love so much is that grief is the footprint of love. No love, no grief. No love, no pain. No love, no loss. No love, no sadness. Really. But I don't know about you, but I would rather love fully, fiercely, every single day, knowing that the possibility of loss would be less devastating than closing my heart to the possibility of love every day. So I know for me, I am just so grateful that the person that I am moving through my first holiday without is dancing in the freedom of love, and it's me navigating life without her. And so my prayer and my hope and my knowing for all of us that are walking through the path of grief, that we know those who know us and love us are tender with us. It's a fragile time. And that even though well-meaning people around us don't always know what to say, to just have some grace there, and to know that the hole in our heart will eventually become a container filled with even more gratitude for having that person in our lives. And to know that, especially through the holiday season, that there is so much joy, and so much of my joy is because my sister has been in my life and blessed me for all of it. And so I am beyond grateful. I know that she is with me, just differently. And I know that those of us who are walking the path of grief right now through this holiday, to remember that it's love that got us here. And it is love that'll take us through and point out the joy and the gratitude every step of the way. So all of you who might be walking the path of grief this holiday season, I honor you, I love you, and I know that love's got you. Namaste.
Thank you, Reverend Carol. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Reverend Veronica. I'm kind of following in the footsteps of what Reverend Carol mentioned. My quote that I chose for today is, "It is thy faith that has made you whole." And I chose that because this is a time, as a nurse, I've seen a pattern that this is a time that a lot of people take to transition, to make their transition. And as a COVID nurse, I've seen a lot of that in the last 20 years, last 20 months. And so the story from that quote is that Jesus is walking through a courtyard where there are a lot of people, everybody's shoulder to shoulder. And there's a woman there who knows that she must touch him because she wants to be healed. And they're walking through this courtyard full of people. And she touches the hem of his garment. And he says, "Who touched me?" And his disciples said, "Jesus, there's so many people. We're all touching." He says, "No, I felt the power come from me, come out from me." And then the woman said, it was I who touched the hem of your garment." And he looked at her and he said, and I want to read this correctly, he said, "Daughter, be of good cheer. It is thy faith that has made you whole. Go in peace." And she was healed. And we often think that healing and wholeness means the absence or the relief of the disease that we're wanting to be gone. But also, we might consider that death may also be the highest form of healing. And when we take a look at our source of where we came from, the everythingness and the nothingness from where we came is where we return. And although there appears to be a duality like a darkness and the light, or death and life, if we think of our source as omniscient, all-knowing, omnipotent, all-powerful, and omnipresent, everywhere present in its entirety. You and I, are made in the image and likeness of our source. So all of these qualities exist within us, and this omnipresence, everywhere present all the time, whether in form or formless, all the time. We see these cycles in life everywhere. The winter solstice is coming up. This is the time where the crops have died. The full moon just left us, and the cycle of the moon. So life, the cycle of life, is always occurring into infinity. So I want you to take this time and contemplate or think of your beloveds, whether they are in the human form, in the form of your pets, or any loss that you may have had. I want you to take this moment, take a deep breath in here, and connect with them. Connect with their being, knowing that they are omnipresent, everywhere present, all the time, in their entirety. And I want you to speak their name out loud. I want you to say it out loud into the room to acknowledge their presence, because I know that our hearts and our souls yearn for their physical presence. But as we speak their name, we bring them present to our heart. So at this time, I'm going to ask you, speak their name out loud so we can acknowledge them. Loopy. Yes, continues saying their name. You can say it over and over, just connecting. Yes. Taking another deep breath in, letting that breath out in gratitude for these souls who have crossed our path in this lifetime and maybe in another. Acknowledging the love that we have, not had, that we have for them. Feeling that love right now. Feeling their presence right now. Always there. In our hearts, in our memories. All we need to do is take a deep breath and remember. Take another deep breath in here. It is thy faith that has made you whole. Thank you.
I said way too many names. This one always reminds me of, being a child. And I think whether it's an uncle or a parent or a brother or a sister, if you've lost someone, this kind of moment that this song is about sort of resonates with that feeling of just, youthful enjoyment, spirit, connection. I was following the eye, 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 was following the pack, all swallowed in the coast, with scarves of red tied round their throats to keep their little heads from falling in the snow. And I turned round and there you go, and Michael, you would fall and summertime. I was following the pack, all swallowed in the coast, with scarves of red tied round their throats to keep their little heads from falling in the snow. And I turned round and there you go, and Michael, you would fall and turn the white snow red as strawberries in summertime. Swallowed in their coats, with scarves of red tied round their throats to keep their little heads from falling in the snow. And I turned round and there you go, and Michael, you would fall and turn the white snow red as strawberries in the summertime.
Well, that's awesome. I got to really follow the best song. Oh my gosh, you guys were amazing. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Valerie Day. I'm a practitioner here at Namaste. And oops, we lost my glasses. That's called not being perfect. So happy holidays. It's so wonderful to be with you in person for our candlelight service. This service is very sweet and special to me. My parents, who passed in 2019, were devout Mormon, and they came to every single one of our candlelight services. Every single one. So thanks to my brother for being here to fill in for Mom and Dad. So, for those of you who have family members or loved ones who have passed, you can invite their memory here today, just as Reverend Veronica invited us. This evening, I'd like to focus on peace and be still. One of my favorite scriptures is "Be still and know that I am God." Psalm 46:10. As I was preparing for this evening, I realized that sometimes I say, "Peace, be still and know that I am God," not realizing that I was combining two scriptures. I'm going to continue using editorial license and combine these two scriptures, creating my own spoken word because it feels good. The scripture, "Peace be still," is from Mark 4:39, and that was when Jesus was with his disciples in a boat, and they were crossing the water, and the storm came, and the disciples were afraid, and Jesus stood up, and he commanded the wind and the sea, and he said, "Peace, be still," and the wind ceased, and there was great calm. As religious scientists, we believe in oneness. We are all connected. The power of God, Jesus, our spiritual teachers we adore, is the same power we have. As the external world is shaking you up with a global pandemic, you can lean into the wisdom of peace, be still, and know that I am. We live in a dual world, and sometimes it's challenging to operate from a place of oneness. That's why we come to church on Sunday, join our daily prayer and meditation calls, participate in sacred circles, or talk to a practitioner. to remind us of the spiritual principle of oneness that is the foundation of peace and stillness. I love Jimi Hendrix's perspective. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. Taken from this month's daily guides written by Reverend Martha Quintana, she says, peace is an inside process that brings thoughts of safety, happiness, and fulfillment. Ultimately, peace is not static, not a destination or something to be lived in stillness. Peace is the discovery of the good inside me and the spiritual practice of living from and as that good. Sometimes peace requires me to speak when I really don't want to. And conversely, most of the time, it requires me to be quiet. So why don't you just take a breath with me right now so we can just feel the be quiet. And take one more breath and exhale audibly. That resets our nervous system. In closing, I'd like to read a treatment for peace of mind taken from The Science of Mind, page 264, written by Ernest Holmes. Be still and know that I am God. I am the Christ, the Son of the living God within me. I am the principle of peace within me. I am the manifestation of love within me. My mind is poised in peace and beauty. All sense of fear or doubt is gone. I rest in calm, trust and rely on the law of spirit to bring good into my experience. I contend with none, argue with none, and am filled with wonderful peace and light. There is no uncertainty about my future and no fear as a result of my past. I live in the eternal now, which is filled with good alone. Goodness and beauty follow me. Peace and joy accompany me. Happiness and wholeness fill my entire being with the realization of love and perfection. As you continue through this precious holiday season, I want to leave you with a question. My father would always ask, what would love do? And the question I leave you with is, what would peace do? Let this question guide your way. Take it into contemplation. Use it during the day when you're presented with a challenge. What would peace do? Namaste. Happy holidays.
Pray you'll be our eyes and watch us where we go, and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe. I pray you'll find your light and hold it in our hearts, and help us to be wise. Remind find us where you are. Let this be our prayer. When shadows fill our day, help us find a place, guide us with your grace, give us faith so we'll be saved. Ask you to be kind and watch us from above. We hope each soul will find another soul to love. Let this be our just like every child who needs to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved. Need to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved. Nice solo, Simon. That was my bad, by the way.
We have an amazing. We there? There we are. Wow. How sweet, huh? How sweet. How sweet it is. So, we're going to do something really special, but I must say something first. Yesterday, my beautiful brother passed away, and the circumstances were very painful for my family. And I will say this, he was a beautiful gift. And we all lose somebody in our lives that makes such and gives such a gift to us. And he choosing to pass at this time was also the gift. Because this is a time, at least for me, when life is so mystical, where it feels like the veil is so thin, where it feels like choosing to go at this time, the soul always knows. And when the soul chooses to go at this time, and in his choice, we honor that. So I'm going to ask you just hold me as we walk through this next part of our service. I'm stalling. There's a story of an elderly Chinese woman who completed a daily trek to the stream past her home and back to supply her family with fresh water. To do this, she fashioned a heavy pot on each end of a long pole, which she carried across her shoulders. One of the pots was in perfect condition and always delivered a full portion of water. The other had a deep crack in it, causing water to leak out. At the end of the walk, the cracked pot arrived only half full. This situation occurred daily for 2 years, with the woman bringing home only 1.5 pots of water. Of course, the perfect pot was proud of its accomplishments. But the cracked pot was ashamed of its imperfection and miserable that it could only do half of what it had been made to do. After 2 years of what it had perceived to be a bitter failure, the cracked pot spoke to the woman by the stream. "I am ashamed," it said. "The crack in my side causes water to leak out. You work so hard and yet have little water once you return home." The old woman smiled and replied, "Did you notice that there are flowers on your side of the path? I've always known about your flaw. So I planted flower seeds on your side of the path. And every day while we walked back home, you watered those seeds and you helped them grow. And for 2 years, I've been able to pick these beautiful flowers to decorate the table and give to neighbors. And without you being just the way you are, there would not have been the special beauty to grace our home and our lives." To be the light, it isn't always what we think, is it? The light actually shines through our cracks. That's how the light gets in. Our wounds, our brokenness. We sometimes feel, I think, that walking this path, myself and others, that maybe it's the cracks, that's where something's wrong. But it's the most beautiful part of who we are. It's that in which others see hope. So I have found that the light shines brighter when we share what I would say the cracks are, our stories. And those stories, when we share them, bring healing to others. Now there's a very special group of people here at Namaste that do this. And they are called practitioners. And the practitioner path is like that pot with a crack in it. Our practitioners offer through their own journey, letting the light in, continuing to heal their stories, and then giving as they do. They give from these places where the light comes in. The role of the practitioner is to know the truth of who we are in the midst of any situation. And practitioners believe that with God, all things are possible. It's the journey, and they do that for each one of us. Our practitioners contribute to the spiritual welfare of our community, and they do this by continually affirming the oneness of all life. They are a gift to me. They are a gift to this community, to the ministers here, the board of trustees here. They have always been that gift. They anchor the truth for us. They anchor in that truth for us. And whether it's we're facing challenges or celebrating successes, they support others in creating healthy, vibrant, fulfilling lives. The principle that guides them is that God is all there is, and that the universe works by a system of predictable spiritual laws that always, 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 and if you didn't get it, always operate. So I'm humbled by the care from our practitioners, and over time, I have been here, I have witnessed so many contributions that they have made. With them, our community has been supported, and my journey has had more joy and challenge. Joy. So in the spirit of the gifts of the season, and what has been a long time coming, I'm going to actually ask first that the ministers come up and help me a little bit. Reverend Carol, yes, thank you. You'll grab the box. Would you bring Jeff up again? It's kind of unusual for a holiday service to do this, but I'm kind of happy and excited about this. So if you'll open that up, Rev Veronica, and it opens right here. Now, Rev Veronica, if you'll just show folks what you're going to do. You can move the flowers over, but you and I are going to open this up. Let me pause. I'm kind of going by, I'm kind of moving through here. Practitioners, would you please come forward, and would you stand right here in any order? Now, the really interesting thing about this is what I'm about to do is pretty significant. Really. Shall we? So I'm going to have Rev Veronica hold this gift up. Now, so before we put them on, I need to explain what these are. You can go ahead and place them down flat. If you'll put that up. There are two things on this stole. So is there anyone here who has not asked me about a stole this week? No. No, there isn't. On the stole, if you could hold one stole up for me, that would be great. On the stole, there is a Science of Mind symbol, and you can see the symbol up there. And the symbol represents all of spirit that is both visible and invisible. This is a teaching symbol. This is what we teach. The top represents the invisible cause of all creation. That's the top layer. The center section represents spiritual law. Always responds. When we pray and we truly, really feel it, the universe responds. And a prayer isn't just because you say, okay, now I'm going to pray. It's everything we speak. It's everything we believe. So that center section is the law, and it just manifests into form, which is the bottom part. And the starting line in the upper left of the circle, that's the process. Travels down through the law and is expressed in form. And then the line ascends upward as the resulting experience of what happens in our lives. Right? So here's what we're going to do. Practitioners, Reverend Carol has a beautiful red box here. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your stole off and put that in that beautiful box. And we're going to present you with your new stole. And be done with the conversation, I think, to some extent.
Thank you.
This is Chuck Spencer. He's been a practitioner for 25 years plus, our practitioner emeritus. This is Nikki Freeman. She's the newest practitioner that was trained at Namaste. You've been a practitioner about 4.5 years, 5 years, 3 years? 4 years. Nikki, amazing.
good riddance, my cord.
This is Valerie Day. She was trained at Agape and is getting close to being emeritus, but Valerie Day does digging deeper and a host of other things. Valerie Day. This is Candace Stein, who has been at Namaste forever. She has deep consciousness, and she always brings us back to center. Thank you very much for doing that. This is Jesse Keeler. He is a new practitioner here. He's been a practitioner about a year and a half, and we are really thrilled that Jesse came to join us here at Namaste. And Jeff, if you can hear us, and I'm going to have Susan text you if you can't, this is your stole that's coming this week. Now, we're going to bless these stoles, and so I'm going to ask that you hold Jeff's stole across the core, if you would, because we're going to bless you and the stoles. That is what the ministers are going to do. So, without practitioners, we're not a community. It's kind of how it works. It just doesn't, it's just the way it is. I am a practitioner first, as is Rev Carol and as is Rev Veronica. We must be practitioners, which is we're trained in the art of prayer, because it is an art. We're trained to hold that truth for you. We're trained to do it for ourselves. But also, when we cannot hold it for us, we ask for it. So what we're going to do now, and I'm going to give, Rev Carol, can I give you this mic? Because I'm going to go up to the pulpit. Can that choir mic, can you turn that choir mic on for us? So what we're going to do is called a chamber prayer. And for those of you that have been part of a chamber prayer before, it's where the three of us are going to speak a prayer on behalf, a blessing of these new stoles and our practitioner core. Thank you for your service, and thank you for being here today, and thanks for giving back those stoles that you loved. So, all right, my friends, let us do this. And if you would, in the community, if you would just hold your hands up, and all you're doing is intentionally giving energy. That's all we do. And here we go.
Oh, and we know that God is right.
So we just know right here and right now there's only one power and presence, and that power and presence is what we call God. It is the energy of the universe.
That is you.
It is all there is.
Is God.
It is joy, it is love,
And
it is
the
peace, it is
practitioner
that universal
that you are
omnipresence.
has a direct
It
connection
has been
to
no beginning and no end.
source, to
It is love and
to
it is
the
joy, it is
all,
peace,
to
it is
the
wisdom.
everything. And that I know
that I'm one with it,
these
and I
stoles
know
are
that
gonna
every
bless
person
you,
on
and they're
this
a
core
beautiful
is one
reminder
with
of
all
the
that is.
electrifying blue color that
They
is communication,
are the heart of
that
the
is
community.
trust, that is
They are the
stability,
faith of the
that is
community.
power,
They are the joy of
that
the
is
community. They are the
honesty
love of the
and
community.
integrity.
And who
so
they
I
are as they
know-
go forward,
I know
they
that
bring
as you move
to
forward
us
in the power of your
that
ministry,
love that is us. They
you-
show back to us
you-
the truth of who we are. They show
you
back to us
make
the
a
love that
difference.
they are.
You are a healer.
So I just bless these
And
stoles
you are
right here and
healed.
right now, knowing that these
And I
stoles
know this to be
represent
true, and
the
I give
core of their work,
thanks
the heart of
to
their work,
God for
the
you,
all of their
for your
work,
commitment, for
in
your
joy and in love.
loving yourself enough to give yourself this
and in
gift
grace.
of becoming
We
a
bless
practitioner.
those stoles that were,
That we
and we
walk
bless those that
in
are
the
now.
light as much
And I
as
just
we
release this
possibly
prayer,
can,
knowing it is good.
and that we just know
And so
it's a
it is.
powerful path. And what a beautiful gift to this world this is, that you are, that all is. And so we give thanks right now for you. We give thanks for what you give to the world, what you give to each other, and what you give to God. And so with the great heart filled with gratitude and love, I bless you in your stoles, I bless you in your life, I bless you in your work. And we just let this go now.
so it can come back as beautiful life, beautiful healing, beautiful world through you, through God, through life. And so it is, amen.
No, you didn't. Are you surprised? Thank you for your patience and for harping all week that we need new stoles. So it made my joy even grander. So with that, we're going to move into the candlelight part of our service. So for each of you that have a candle out there, for those that are part of the choir, if I could just invite you to come up here. So I'm going to say this real quick is, it's been 2 years since we've been at a holiday service where we could do this. I cannot tell you how much gratitude I have for that. You guys are going to get this mic, right? Okay. Now, we're going to dim the lights in the back. And Tori, would you take Jeff off so he can relax? So our practitioners and board members are surrounding the room, and they're going to come to your aisle. And if you would like to join in singing, at the end of the song, they're going to invite you in to sing if you would like. We are really grateful that you could be here today. We're really grateful to be able to get to give this gift to you, and so is the choir. And the choir has been led by Des this week.
See what I see. See what I see. Way up in the sky of the land. Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? A star dancing in the night with a tail as big as a kite. With a tail as big. Said this little lamb to the shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? What I hear? Ringing through the sky, shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? What I hear? A song, high above the tree with a voice as big as the sea, with a voice as big as the sea. Said the shepherd boy to the mighty king, do you know what I know? What I know in our palace for mighty king. Do you know what I know?
What am I doing, Des? It's me. It's all me right now. You know, folks, they had so little practice, and they sound so beautiful, and I just want to have a round for our beautiful community choir today. And I know it's hard, so do this. Okay, so here's what I would like you to do. This is the light of the holiday season. Right now, it's on the outside of you, but it shines within each one of you. It's time for us to bring that light out. It's time for us to bring the light that we are into our world. It's time. Love and peace and joy has to come from us. So we turn away from everything and we bring that. And that is what we hope we brought to you today, which is the gift of you. Thank you. So very gently, blow your candle out, and don't blow the wax all over your lap. Oh, with the mask, I know. Ray, how are you going to do that? I'm like the help desk, even for candles. Choir, you can take your seats, please. So one last announcement before we go, because we're going to bless the offering. We have Jesse coming up as well. So I just want to say this while I have a chance. Kong, Justin Joyce. This guy's been pretty special to us. Thank you, Des. So he's finally going to take a vacation. He's finally going to take a vacation. He's going to be off in January. He's going to go explore his art and see where that's going to take him during that month, visit some family and a host of other things. And we are so grateful to do this. Namaste has also tithed to Kong this month because we are really, truly grateful for who he is. So if you'll put up our conscious giving slide. Sorry, I don't know this by heart. But it's a time of our conscious giving, and that is where we give to this community that has, stood through all this, made its way through this unprecedented time. And we're really, really grateful to be here still. And not just in a little way. So for those of you that are online and joining us today, thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming here today. We're not done. We're almost done, but we're not done, okay? So let's just take whatever it is that we give to this community, time, treasure, and talent. And just take that gift. There is a basket in the room. You can also give online, which is Gift Plus, PayPal, and Venmo. That's what we do. It brings about the energy that you see in this room with the people and the building and the operation that we do and the music and a host of beautiful things that we get to do. So take that gift that you have and just place it on your heart. And if you're the Grinch, it's in there. It's just little. So take your hand and place it with the gift on your heart. That is you. That light that is you. And that light that is you is this place in which we're grateful for who Namaste is, for this community that continues to grow and prosper and thrive. We have more to do. We have more to do. So go with thee. Go with this community. And so as you give today, I just have you think about that. Commitment's tough, man. We don't like it. It means I got to show up. So we take that leap right here and right now, and we show up as we are. So if you will say this affirmation with me, go ahead, Terry, put the next one up. The abundance of all good surrounds me and operates through me. I accept in faith God's plenty as mine, and namaste. I accept it with gratitude and joy and use it with wisdom as the inlet and outlet to all that God is. I affirm this is true, and so it is. Our final share for tonight is Jesse Keeler. So Jesse's going to come up and share a special share.
Hello, namaste. I'm Jesse Keeler. It says so on my stole. I really struggle this time of year, but I've really come to enjoy the festivals of light that most faith practices celebrate in the midst of this encroaching winter nights. If I'm not careful, though, I'll fall into a busyness, a rushing to get gifts and go to parties, a rushing to get into the spirit of the season, rather than just being in the spirit of the season. Fortunately, I was recently reminded of an African proverb. In times of urgency, slow down. In the past few years, I've been celebrating my love for the winter solstice, learning about the legends and rituals our ancient ancestors created to honor the event, and also about the astronomical science of our modern world that we use to explain the Earth's orbit around the sun and the resulting solstice. The winter solstice is this week, Tuesday, December 21st. On that day, the sun will appear to us standing here on Earth as if it were to stand still in the sky. For those of us in the northern hemisphere, it'll be the longest night of the year. Then in the days that follow, the sun will appear to move again. And gradually, over the coming months, the days will get longer until the summer solstice. We live in a time and a place where we never need to be without light. So it can be difficult to appreciate the darkness, to be still in the fear of the unknown, and to be in awe of what it can reveal to us, like the stars that illuminate the blackness of the infinite night sky. Our ancient ancestors knew how to slow down, observe and honor the miracle of the earth in relationship to the universe. They didn't take the natural world for granted because they understood they were part of it, that we're part of it. Nature wasn't something out there. They were in it and of it. They knew every step they took was on the holy ground of Mother Earth, and their breath was dependent on Mother Earth's sacred union with Father Sky. They understood as humans' responsibility to care for, to love, and to protect all the gifts of the earth so that she generously provides for us. In the coming week, I invite you to find a way to say thank you to our beloved earth, to appreciate the long winter night and the promise of the returning sun. Wherever you are, to recognize you are on holy ground and be in awe of the gifts that the natural world gives to sustain you, to sustain all of us. And with that, I'd like to invite you to pray with me. We've come together in sacred celebration of the holy night and the joyful anticipation of the sun's new dawn. We're divinely united as individuations of the one Spirit that is the creator of everything, that is the boundless love and abundance that sustains us. We join with one another to honor our bonds as humans and to know we are inextricably bound with nature itself. As I do unto others, I do unto myself. As I do to the earth, I do to myself. We are the stuff of stars evolved to be consciousness of itself, and we No, we are one with all life. The winged ones, the four-leggers, the creepy crawlers, the ones that swim in the waters. We are one with the rocks and the plants and the trees, the earth and the sky, the ever-changing universe. We honor our lives as we honor all life. Thank you, Earth. We bless you by being your best lovers and protectors you birthed us to be. We will see your beauty wherever we go. We will be mindful to know you in our hearts and act with gratitude towards you. Thank you for the light, and thank you for the dark. Thank you, Earth. Thank you, divine creative spirit, the creator of all life. I release these words, knowing we are all hearing the call to be a greater expression of self, to be in unity with all creation. We are one. We are love. We are namaste. And so it is.
So as we close today, we'll be closing together, singing Silent Night. So if you're able, I invite you to stand. There's your microphone. Always thinking Kong.
I'll do an intro, yeah.
Okay.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds wake at the sight, glory stream from heaven afar, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah, Christ the Savior is born, Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth, Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Beautiful job, everybody. Thank you. Happy holidays.
So before we'll close now, let us just thank our amazing music team under Kong, Des, Simon, Eve, Casey on sound, our beautiful practitioners and ministers for their shares, your board of trustees that supports us so beautifully, Jackie on the welcome team, thank you so much. Terry over here just doing technology genius. I'm going to turn it over, but I want to say this one thing. I'm so grateful to be here with all of you. Thank you for who you are and for showing up today. And have a happy, joyous, peaceful. If you can't do happy, do peace. Peaceful holiday season, and thank you.
I also want to say thank you to each and every one of you as I turned around. My heart just sang to see all of you in here together celebrating, because it's been so long since we've been able to do our candlelight service. And we invite you to come outside. The board has a very short presentation and a small gift to you. So please, we have fire pits out there. Come join us by the fire.
Thank you all. Happy holidays. And you can exit out that side door right there, or you can exit right through this door, either way. But don't miss on the best cookies on the planet.